Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for April 9th, 2023. If you celebrate, happy Easter. Not, it's Sunday. And it's going to be a quiet day, I hope. I don't have any plans. I already went out for coffee, and that was in one grocery store to pick up something for what I want to make today. So I think I'm going to just be around the house mostly with the cats. They'll enjoy that. Speaking of cats, there's Cooper. Anyway, so this week it didn't go the way I planned. I did put up a reading vlog yesterday, kind of late, but that kind of explains what happened during the week. But I also got sick, and my brother got sick before me because we had hung out on Sunday doing a spiral ham that I had in the freezer that then got moved to his chest freezer, and we thought we better get it done. So we did that on Sunday and we were fine. Then he got sick on Monday. I got sick on Wednesday, but we got different, like we were completely different. We didn't have the same like cold or whatever. He was more coughing and hacking and from that, and I had a sore throat. So and he didn't have a sore throat. So it was weird. Anyway, so we stayed away from each other this week. So I haven't really seen him. But anyway, so this week was, as I said, I went to work every day. I wasn't feeling bad enough. It's just at night, I have like a relapse every night. It comes back. I don't know. It's really annoying. Anyway, so, but I did do a reading vlog this week. I don't do very many reading vlogs because my life is so boring. So you guys will have to let me know if you liked it or not. I'll be talking about that book here in a little bit. Anyway, so other than that, nothing new, but, anyway, so we're just gonna get on with it. So I did finish a few things, maybe less than what I planned on, just because one of them was huge and it kind of took over my week reading vlog. Anyway, so but it still wasn't I think a really good reading week, even though I was feeling sick. So I do want to bring up one book that I accidentally forgot last week. When I did my weekly reading update, I kept going, I swear I read another book, and I did. I just forgot. So I did read The Gargoyle's Captive by Katie Robert. I read this like Wednesday and Thursday, I think, of last week. So it's the newest release in the deal with the demon. I think it's number 4. I don't know where I'm at. I think it's 4. Of the main, I think there's a 0.3 or something. I don't know. But anyway, the point is that I did get it on ebook because I needed something to read. And I was reading ebooks at the time. So I totally forgot I read this. I did read this. I did enjoy it. It's a great addition to her Deal with the Demon series. It didn't go any way the way I thought it would. So it was just fun. It was just, again, these are, sexy novellas that have to deal with women who make a deal with the demon to do something in the real world or in our world, and then are sent to this other place where they are then matched up with in an auction to some other creatures. And so it's a monster romance kind of thing. I really enjoy these. I like Katie Robert a lot. I will be getting a physical copy from her sometime this month through her Patreon, because I do support her that way, because I just adore her stuff and I like getting the books from her. So but I couldn't wait, and I had some Kindle credit from whatever this program is that if you buy so many books you get some money off from some of your other books, from your Kindle books. I'm not sure, but I keep getting $3 off stuff after I've bought so many books or ebooks. So anyway, so I spent some of that on this, so I didn't pay full price because I had that. So anyway, so I did read this last week. I just totally forgot about it when I was going through. I knew I was forgetting something, but because it was an ebook, and of course I forgot. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. So now let's go into the books that I read this week, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. I did finish 3 things. As I said, one of them was gigantic, which is why that's it for me. But again, I think I did fairly well. And then I'm in the middle of quite a few books, so we'll see how that goes. So, can we see the cat? There we go. I'm just making him. Anyway, so I did finish Secret Project #2 by Brandon Sanderson. I this time decided to pick it up as soon as possible because I wanted to see everybody's reviews. Because Trust, I waited. During January, it just didn't call to me to read it, even though I should have just done it. But it didn't happen, and so I didn't read it until near the end of March. But I love the book. I got my copy. It's gorgeous. Anyway, so I love Trust of the Emerald Sea. So I went into this one not knowing what this was, except this was not a Cosmere book. And again, I'm not caught up on the Cosmere at all. I still need to do all the Stormlight Archive, and I'm still partway through Mistborn Era 2, and I still need to go back and read Elantris. So I have a couple books I'm off for the Cosmere, so, but I do want to read those books. So this one was not, this was more, I would say, a sci-fi, time travel, well, kind of, some kind of thing. I think this was just a fun ride. So I'm just going to mention the title here. So if you don't want to listen, skip ahead here. I just want to say it at least once. And okay, so here we go. Is The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. So it's like this long title, and it has a really funny element to it. It was nothing like anything I'd read from Sanderson, at least not that I remember, because there's certain series, I don't read his YA stuff or his middle grade. They're just, they're not part of the, I'm reading I'm going to focus on the Cosmere stuff. And so I just hadn't, I don't really care for that. And I did not like when I read Steelheart, which is many years ago now, but I didn't really care for it. But anyway, point is that I didn't know going into this, even though the cover kind of looks funny. So I kind of knew there was going to be some humor involved. I just wasn't sure if it would hit for me. And most of the time it was just kind of dorky. Why did this just change over? It was just a fun ride. I think this is not going to be one that everybody loves. I think Trust of the Emerald Sea is a better book overall for what it does, even though it's kind of whimsy and cozy and stuff like that. I loved the world building in that one, and that was just a fantastic book. This one was just a fun ride. This is not anything that I'm going to reread often in the future. If I ever reread this, I'm not sure. I'm really interested to see what the book looks like, because the ebook, it was hard to see the drawings and stuff, that there's supposed to be all these great sketches in it and like a story within a story with the sketches, but I couldn't really see it on my ebook my e-reader very well. Again, I have just the cheap Kindle, so it was really kind of hard to see. So I can't wait for my physical books to come in, but I am definitely kind of in the middle of the two camps I've seen so far in this, is that some people have just adored it because it's just a fun ride and it's light, and then I've seen those who don't like it. They think it's just kind of mediocre and there's a lot of flaws to it, and I agree that there are flaws to this. I think this is just supposed to be a fun ride. I don't think this is supposed to be great literature. I don't think this is supposed to be a great story. I think this is a story that we've heard before, but I like the way he built the amnesia trope in here, when a man wakes up in what looks like medieval England and he's trying to figure out how he got there and why, and he gets kind of caught up in stuff. And it was really a great ride to see things that happened and how he progressed as a character. And I still think that was the best part of this, was that the things that as he learned things about himself and how he had to take stock of what what his life had been like before this had all happened, and how he was trying to grow his, change, because he didn't know what he was like. And I think it was a really good eye opener. There were some really great little twists near the end that I liked the way that it was but it was funny. Like there were ones like I didn't quite see them like fully coming. Like I kind of guessed on one of them, but it still went really weird, and it felt like a joke in a lot of ways. Like there's like little jokes everywhere about things, and I thought there were some really funny parts in this. So overall, I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's like again, this is one of those books where I had a fun time while I was reading it. I didn't hate it ever. I didn't have any problems where I wanted to put it down and not read it again. I read it in the first 3 days of the month, on my Kindle, because I got the Kindle version or the ebook version, and then, I'll get the hardbacks later when they start shipping, because again, we haven't seen those yet. So I'm hoping, that'll happen sometime this month. I hope, again, we're hoping that this time it won't be as long waiting for them as as Trust of the Emerald Sea. But again, I'm really glad I read it quickly so I can see everybody's reviews, and I also really enjoyed it overall. So, as I said, if you like kind of lighthearted, I mean, again, there's a few dark points, but I mean, really, it's just a fun ride. And if you like time travel or going back into history and being the person who knows more technology stuff, and then there's all this and having to remember history stuff, it was just funny. There were some really good parts in this, but I liked the tech in here as well and everything. I thought it was really good overall. So, as I said, I'm glad I read it early so that I can see other people's reviews now. Because again, I think I'm very much in the middle of the two camps of the people who are really, really enjoying it and the ones who are just like, it's not that good. And I'm like, yeah, but it was fun. It was just fun. And that's what sometimes that's all a book needs to be, is fun for me to enjoy it. So then after that, I went to the library on Monday afternoon because I had a couple holds that came in at the same time. Of course, they always do, but they came in late on Sunday, so I didn't get to go on Sunday. So I went Monday after work, and one of them was House of Earth and Blood by of the first book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. So I did start reading my library book, but it got too heavy and it was just awkward. So I went and bought a paperback copy of it so that I could I'd have it up and it was easier to handle. So I did do a full reading vlog on this, but I was very conscious of that. I don't like to spoil things. And even here, like, you should know by now, I don't like to spoil. Like, I will give you, like, tell you how I feel about it, but I don't get into specifics because I just feel that it's not my place to spoil things for people. I don't like when people just blurt out something about a book that they think that to them is not a big deal. But to me, that would have been like, why would you spoil that for me? Why would you would take away that part of the experience for me? So anyway, my vlog is very much very light. There's not much to it, but me and the cats. And some weird rain, weird weather, because I had some hail and rain and stuff one day. So anyway, this is the first book in the Crescent City series. So again, most people know all about Sarah J. Maas and know all about this series. I did the vlog because I wanted to revisit this after I read Gideon the Ninth. Because a coworker, or my ex-boss, who I had worked with for quite a few years, he recommended these two books, the Gideon the Ninth and Crescent City. And I tried them both from the library and returned them to the library pretty quickly. I did not really give them a shot. I just didn't feel like them when I got them, which happens a lot from library books, is I will get books to try. And if it doesn't strike me while I have them for those 3 weeks, then, it's just, I send them back and I don't think about them again. But because I re-picked up Getting the Ninth and adored it, I decided I should give him a second chance also on House of Earth and Blood. And again, this is one of those ones where I know so many people love this series, and I kind of wanted to see what it was about. So I'm going to direct you to that. I'll have the video linked down below, but it's just, I overall enjoyed this. This is not a new favorite. This is not an obsession. I can see why people like it. I really loved, the plotting was so well done in here. The way things move together. I still think it is way too long for an urban fantasy. I know some people like to call it high fantasy, but it's not. This is urban fantasy, but it's in a different world. And to me, it has all the elements of urban fantasy, and she plays to that. That all worked really well. There is, 2 points that I hear near the end that I got angry about, which again, I'll talk about that a little bit more in that vlog. But, this isn't a perfect book, and I don't think anybody expected it to be. But I mean, I would say that even the ride was pretty good mostly through it, except for about a 70-page area where I was not enjoying it because I kind of got knocked out of the story a little bit. But I got back in, I started reading again. It got really good. The ending definitely came around and it did things that I did not expect. I really enjoyed the way it went. The surprises there and stuff that, we had hints from the beginning came back in the end, which is always one of my favorite things, that whole loop thing of throwing out red herrings that look like red herrings at first, but later really are like actually like little clues. And again, that's one of my favorite things about urban fantasies is that you have that built in, you have those mysteries that this story is following. And again, I don't know if I need to explain too much about this except that we're following Bryce, who very quickly in this book, something tragic happens to some of her friends, and then 2 years later, she is tasked with joining with one of the fallen angels' hunt to hunt down who the real killer was. And there's all these stipulations and things going on, and there's so many different mysteries. I think, again, as I said, I think this was very well done, plotted wise. There are a lot of characters. We only have a few POVs, luckily, between Bryce, Hunt, and her brother Rune are the main three, which I really enjoyed all those characters. So I really enjoyed this. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue yet. I think this really stands alone as a really good book. I'm kind of afraid to read the second book, so you guys will have to try to tell me if I should. The paperback doesn't come out until like September, so maybe by September I'll feel like I'm ready to come back to this world. But I did enjoy this. I hope you enjoy the vlog if you get to see it. I know it's kind of long, but it's an 800-page book. There's a lot and again, it's spoiler free. So if you've read the book, you'll probably know what I'm hinting at, but not. I just don't do. I don't do spoilers. I hate it when I do it over here. It's very rarely. You guys know that. And then the only other book that I finished yesterday, which I finished also Crescent City yesterday, is Bitten by Cupid, which has 3 novellas by Lindsay Sands, Pamela Palmer, and Jamie Rush. So I read the Lindsay Sands novella because it is 12.5 in the Argano Vampires series. So I wanted to read that before I read the next novel. And I'm ready now to do that. It was a fun, cute one. It was too short because most of her books are about 300 pages, and you get to know the characters a little bit more. These were characters that we had met in the other books, so she didn't have to spend as much time getting to know them. But I just felt like we didn't get everything. We got, I guess, enough, but it was okay. And then the other two. I read the second one all the way through, and Hearts Untamed. The Lindsay Sand one was called Vampire Valentine. So these all had to do on Valentine's Day. But Hearts Untamed by Pamela Palmer was like this whole other kind of world, it was definitely like urban fantasy. But they weren't, they were creatures that I didn't quite understand what their powers were or whatever. But she had a character who was kind of a half of this other species that is hiding that they even exist anymore. And so it's kind of a hidden thing. And so she is tasked to find this moonstone that's supposed to help the queen of that other species that is hiding from the rest of the world. Anyway, I did not like that. That was a second chance romance one. I'm always very skeptical about this. And this was a second chance where they never actually got together. She, as a young woman, had asked him to, take her virginity. And he ran because they have a age thing where they're supposed to wait till they're 25 for any of that kind of thing. And it was like 20 or 21 when she asked him. And so he wanted to get away so he wouldn't be tempted. But she took it as he rejected her completely. And so she's lived the last 10 years. So it's been 10 years since that happened. And then he comes back when he hears that she is, something's going on with her, that something's happening. So he's been gone for years. So there's this second chance element, but it's also they got together really, really quick. So again, I didn't really care for that one. And then the third one in this was called Kiss and Kill Cupid, which was more of a murder mystery, had to do with the serial killer who, but it's following the woman who, she goes to a coffee shop and she overhears somebody saying, oh, she would be my next target. She would be the one I would kill next. And this is the Kiss and Kill Cupid is a killer who only killed on Valentine's Day once a year. So he would, and then he'd kissed them with some kind of wax lips or something so that they'd know it was him. Anyway, so she is trying to get a new job. And one of the guys that she meets with kind of looks kind of off, but so she kind of thinks it might be him, but the partner she's instantly attracted to him, and she can't read him, like she can't read her thoughts, and she can hear other people's thoughts. So there's this whole psychic thing, and then he has his own thing that's going on. And I only got halfway through it and I just DNF'd it. I just didn't care. I did skim ahead to see who the killer was, and it kind of was like, yeah, I kind of knew that was coming. I mean, for a novella, it was hard to build up the suspense for that. I just didn't care really what happened. I guess that's bad. So anyway, but I got that. I marked it done because I did read the other two. But whatever, I'm done with that. So that's what I've finished this week. I did start 2 things. I did get in the mail Dark Olympus shorts by Katie Robert. So she put on her website that a couple of things had come, that she opened her Etsy shop. So I think it's still open right now. I did not know I'd be getting one of this with my Patreon book when I get the Gargoyles Captive. So I have a second copy. I will have a second copy. So I might ask if you guys want to, if you want me to send this to you guys. But anyway, it's just about little shorts that she's written around the Dark Olympus series, which again is the one with Neon Gods, Electric Idol, Wicked Beauty, and Radiant Sin. So these are like the first ones she's written. The first half of this is Stone Heart, which is the 0.5 novella that came out last year that was really good, about Medusa and Calypso. So I really enjoyed that, but now I have it physically. Of course, now I'm going to get a second book. So anyway, I'm just dark. Anyway, so the other shorts are all ones she's done, like Patreon shorts, or she's done stuff online that you can look at. Anyway, so I'm just reading these. They're all really short. Some of the, as I said, I read Stoneheart, so I've already read that. So I'm almost done. I just have, I think, 4 more stories to go to. I think 3 or 4. I don't remember. But anyway, so I did. That wasn't the best. I didn't think about it that she might send it to us. And I didn't know. So I bought it. Well, I gave her money. Anyways, the point is that I'm enjoying that just because, again, there are novellas in that series. And then I also started last night Activation Degradation by Marina J. Lostetter. Anyway, so I have had this book for a year and a half, and I've been wanting to read it like every month. I look at it going, oh, I'll pick it up this month. I'll pick it up this month. And I just haven't. And this is on my 23 and 2023 books that I want to read. So I kept putting this on close to me on the couch. And finally last night after I finished House of Earth and Blood, my brain was fried because I had read so much of that novel. And I was just like, what do I want to read? And I didn't know what I wanted to read. So I picked up a couple books, and this is the one that I picked up and at least got 40 pages in. Yeah, just under 40 pages. So this is sci-fi, futuristic, I would say. We're following kind of an AI robot who is stationed on Jupiter over a mining colony there, and they are under attack when its consciousness is awoken, and it's not fully prepared because it was in a vat, getting built and stuff, and it was kind of rushed through the process. And then now it's the adventure of who's attacking and trying to save the station that's above the mining thing, because they need the mining for power stuff for Earth. So this does take place in the solar system. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely another one of those ones where the person wakes up and doesn't know what's going on. So we're getting all the stuff as Unit 4 decides how, or starts doing stuff in order to save the station it's on. So anyway, I'm enjoying it so far. We'll see how it goes. This is an author. I have 2 books by her on my shelf. This one and The Helm of Midnight. So that's a series, at least a trilogy, I think, with only 2 of the books out. So I decided I wanted to read this one first because this is the first one I bought. from her. So I wanted to read that and try that out. And again, it is one of my 23 books in 2023 that I want to read. So I need to read several of these of the books this month because I'm behind a book to keep on track to get them done all this year. So we'll see what happens. But this is one. So I'm going to work on that one. So what I'm going to read after that, I'm not sure. I'm kind of fluctuating because, again, I just read that really gigantic book. But I'm just like, my mind is not settled. Yesterday it wouldn't settle. So after, I don't know what I'm going to read after I finish Activation, Degradation, and just the shorts, because I'll get those done probably today. I could go on and read the next book 3 in the Dragonkin series by What a Dragon Should Know by G.A. Aiken. Again, these are just fun, light reads, so I might do that. It's a really chunker though. I think it's like 400 and something. And they're not usually that long. Yeah, 465 pages. That's insane. Anyway, but they're a fun fantasy romance with dragon shifters, and it's about a family of dragon shifters and then them finding their mates. And they're just hilarious. They're laugh out loud funny, and they're action and brutal sometimes, but I just love J.A. Aiken, Shelley Lawrenson. I just love those books. I might also pick up Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I did read the first couple pages yesterday, and I just I didn't feel like I could start it yesterday because my brain was just not settling very much. So, but this might be another book I pick up this week. I don't know. And again, that's about a woman. We see it from 2 women. One of them had been on something underneath the water. It was only supposed to be gone, like, I don't know if it's like a submarine. I don't remember. It hasn't told me yet. And she was supposed to be gone for 6 weeks, and then it was like months because they got trapped or something. And then it's her, and it's also the wife. And I think they're dealing with the aftermath of what happened. And there's some kind of weird things going on. Anyway, so I do want to read that. I'm also thinking about picking up The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, just because I want to at least read this first part this month. Again, I have all the UK versions where they're split in 2. But again, it's over 500 pages, the first part. 594, so it's another big book. But I do kind of want to pick that up too. So I don't know what I'll feel like. I also have tons of other books, but it probably will be... It might be with these 3. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm still not listening to audiobooks because my ear is still plugged. I don't have my appointment until 2 more weeks. So if it opens up and I feel like audiobooks, I will do that. If not, yeah, I probably won't be doing audiobooks until that happens. So on my board, I've cleared it off so that we can start again. So the first book I finished was the Sanderson book, the Secret Project 2. So I'm going to count it as a series because I'm counting the Secret Projects as a series because I want to read all 4 of them this year. So I'm just going to count it as a continue. I also continued with the Gargoyle. Well, the Gargoyle's Captain would have been last month, so we won't count that one. I did start with the House of Earth and Blood, so that is the start of a series, as well as a book over 700 pages. It's 799 pages. What the heck? Anyway, and then I also do a continue for the Lindsay Sands novella because that does carry me on to that. So I don't think anything else on here. Yeah, so far nothing else, but that's the first week. I do want to mention I do also still have I'm still reading Alec Mackenzie's Art of Seduction by Jennifer Ashley, which is a book, did I say 11? No. What is 9? I don't remember what number. Anyway, 9? I don't remember, in the Mackenzie and McBride series. So I'm reading this on my ebook or on my Kindle. So I didn't pick it up after I started House of Earth and Blood. So I do have still about 2/3 of it to read. I've read about 120 pages. So I still have about 200 pages left of that one too. So I could get to that as well. So that is it. That's all the stuff. Me and Cooper are now going to go relax on the couch. So, let me know what you guys are reading. If, what do you guys, are anything going on in April? I don't know. As I said, I'm just mood reading at this point, and hopefully picking up books that I have on my shelf that I should be reading. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, let me know how you're doing, and let me know if I should do more reading vlogs, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.